it again. Every time Nigeria is ringing bell. If I look on news, it is bell. If I look social media, it is problem. Eh? When I should be drinking coffee, they will make me to come online. They don't want to have me to rest. But you know what? You know what? The spirit in me, the Biafra spirit in me, I said, when I told you, if Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is looking for 100 people, I promise that I have 50 in me. You have not seen anything. It is not by my power. It is not by my power. It is not by my power. But, you know, as my own oro, I am a you understand? Till Biafra come. But today you are going to receive sense. The crypto, Nigeria crypto. As they are crippling your economy, they close border. They close the border. ESN came out automatically, you know, weaponized. It shocked them. It shocked them. They said, this border no work. This close of border no work. Now, how do we stop the funding now of this Sunday or Igboho? How do we stop the contribution? Let us stop the crypto. Because they were following Nigerians, southern Nigerians. Use crypto. We should open crypto. Crypto. Use crypto. Don't use the Western Union. Don't use this. They say, so these people are doing crypto. Okay, let us slash them. Bah! They are not considering the economic impact of crypto. No. They are not considering how much the crypto is bringing to Nigeria economy. Their agenda is not to make Nigeria progress. No. They have a better agenda. Now you get the point. Now you get the point. My only problem is that why is it that you must wait? Was Thomas born in Nigeria? Is Thomas a Nigerian? Is Thomas in the Bible in Nigeria? Are you a lineage of Thomas? Are you a lineage of Thomas? All of you have Thomas blood in your vein. How did you get Thomas blood in your vein? That it must happen to you first before you understand. We hear more in Anubia. You hear more kind of woo. When we are telling you, you don't know, we are telling you, even we are not perfect, but everything we have said, everything we open this mouth to say, if it don't happen today, it will happen tomorrow. I want you to go from the beginning of this struggle, from the beginning. In fact, even the one that we are not sure of, once God asks us to say it, we will say it and God will do it. Hey! I said, did you see the prayer? May God harden the heart of the leaders in Nigeria so that we will tell them, the world may know that Obi is no longer a boy. I remember when we used to read the history of the Greeks, the Greek god. I don't know, you know, of course you don't read all those things in Africa. The history of the Greek gods.
This is my wicked word. This is my confusion word. Listen to Palibran. I will be telling you a story about one lady girl. Polly they go to work. Polly they work for bank. Then I enter for motor. The driver they go. Wherever they go, opposite Udi, but the right hand the side, along Gusukudu Road. I see people run. I see people run. Then I ask the driver waiting they happen. The driver waiting they happen. The driver tell the Palibai, see no day for talk. See no day for talk. If we better you take your eye and see. Then I call the driver. The driver waiting. The driver waiting.
akara m ihe mbe na-eme mbe si ma chọrọ ofu ukwu ehi ma nke ọzọ mụ achọrọ ihe niile ma ụkwụ ya ma aka ya ma isi ya ma olu ya anyị ga-adọbiri wee pụọ na nke onwe anyị tighata azụ etu anyị nọ tupu ndị ọcha wee bịa ebe a nwa aha obodo ebe a nwe ndị mmadụ n'ime tupu nwa bekee si ebe o si hapụ obodo ya ọ bịa ebe a ọkpọrọ onye nke ọkpọrọ okeke ọkpọrọ okafọ dakata anyị isi ọ sị n'ụbọchị nke taa na anya aha anyị wuzi Naijiria anyị na-aza aha na-enweghị omimi n'ime ya ihe mgbagbasị biko kọwara m ihe Naijiria pụtara enwepụghị kọwara m ọmụa ga-aza aha osimiri ka osimiri ga-aza aha mụnwa n'ihi ihe anyị na-ekwuwu na ebe a rụgidere ụlọ anọ ọ jọgburu onwe ya ọ dịghị mma Naijiria agaghị emekọtanwu ihe ọzọ ihe ọjọọ emego n'obodo a arụ emego egbugo ndị be anyị aka na-egbukwa anyị ndị Fulani wee chere na mabata be anyị ka na-egbukwa ndị be anyị ruo ụtụtụ echi a na-asị m na ọ ga-adị mma oge ọ na-ekwekwu ka nwee mmekọrịta bụ nke ndị nrụkọ nke ndị ụmụnne ha egosighị anyị ọtụtụ mgbe ha kpọrọ anyị asị onye ajụrụ ajụ na-ajụ onwe ya ha jụrụ anyị aja ama njụ onwe anyị agbanyeghị na anyị nwe ngwa ahịa n'ugwu Awụsa agbanyeghị na anyị na-azụ ahịa ebe niile dị iche iche na-eme nke ọma kama onye gara ndụ kpakụ onye rie n'ihe ọ ndụ bụ isi ka anyị na-ekwu okwu ya ka anyị cheghata azụ ebe a ruo obodo anyị ka o wee maa mma wee karịa obodo ndị ọcha na mma ọhịa anyị na-arịọ nwekwe n'ugwu nwee nkwanye ugwu n'ime onwe anyị ọnwa anyị pụọ n'iro a na-etigbu anyị pụọ n'iro ekwu okwu asị ọ bụ gịnị ma anyị ji wee ekwu okwu ọnwụ ihe ndị a ka anyị si na anyị agaghị anabatakwa ya ọzọ.
Akụkọ akọrọ anyị bụ na ọkụkọ na ewu agaghị nzukọ ụmụ anụmanụ a na-emezi mgbe ọbụla a chọrọ ịchụ aja ejiri ọkụkọ maọbụ ewu chụ aja mgbe ọbụla a chọrọ ime ka Naijiria dị n'otu enwe ha na-eto esi wee kpam akpụrụ ndị Igbo ọ pụtara na anyị bụ ọkụkọ maọbụ ka ọ pụtara na anyị agaghị nzukọ mere ya bụ ihe eji eme anyị bụ ndị Igbo ụdị na ọbara ndị Igbo awakpafu n'obodo Naijiria gaja
ọ bụ site na akpọmasị ihe na-eme anyị dị ka ihe mere ndị ji oge mgbe gara aga etu ọkụka mba niile dị iche iche ji kpọọ ụmụ Izrel asị a na-egbu ha a na-egbu ha a na-egbu ha afọ niile aka na-egbu ha o wee ruo oge ugbu anyị asị na ogbugbu a na-egbu anyị na ọ dịghị anyị mma ọ ka mma na onwe ihe ekegbu anyị nwu nwere onwe njem a nke anyị na-aga kama na na-ese etete n'ụtụtụ asị na onwe onye gburu ebe a onwe ha na-ekwu okwu odo na nyere onwe onye n'aka ụkọchukwu n'ugwu Awụsa ebepụ isi ọnwụghị ofu ugboro ọnwụghị ugboro abụọ ọnwụghị ugboro atọ ọnwụghị ugboro anọ ọ bụ ruo ole mgbe ka a ga-egbugide anyị wee rue anyị asị mba na anyị ga-aga ka anyị nwee ike wee nwere onwe anyị ọ ka mma na anyị nwụrụ ebe anyị na-azọ nwere onwe tụbụ na anyị nọ n'ụlọ etu a mmadụ ibe mabata n'ime ụlọ mbịa bupụ m isi a sị na-achọghị ụdị nka ọ bụghị anyị maka a ga-eji wee chụọ àjà ọzọ.
Welcome. Thank you for joining on this program. Today, I am going to bring to you Mazi Simon Ekpa brokers that made them to kidnap him. The very brokers that destroyed Nigeria, the very brokers that angered the West, the brokers that made Finland, United Kingdom, and Nigeria to put hands together and arrest Mazi Simon Ekpa. This is the program. Don't miss any part of this program. Don't miss it. You know, some of us are not watching. Some of us just followed yesterday. Some of us do not know what is happening. I want you to listen to this massive exposition that Mazi Simon Ekpa made. It is this exposition that angered the West. This was the exposition that triggered the West, that made them to support the arrest of Mazi Simon Ekpa up to today, involving Finland. This is the exposition that ended Nigeria and gave us Biafra. I want you to pay close attention. Watch from the beginning to the end. After watching, your life will never remain the same. For those of you who are busy gossiping, after watching this program, you will never gossip again. This program reveals so many secrets in the contraption called Nigeria. So many secrets. A very, I don't know how to talk about it, a bombshell broadcast from Mazi Simon Ekpa Njoko. I want you to listen from beginning to the end. And after this very broadcast, your life will never remain the same. You will never gossip again about the issue of Biafra. Let us watch and hear the Prime Minister of United States of Biafra, Mazi Simon Ekpa Njoko, speak.
This evening, we are going to take the awareness for the freedom of Biafra people to the next level. Media awareness, we are taking it to the next level. I want you to understand that from today, the broadcasts for the Biafra liberation and freedom have changed. And like I promised Biafra people yesterday, that we are going to step up our game since we are now in the international stage. This liberation, everybody is talking about it. It is time to bring the plight of the Biafra people to the world. We have preached to the Biafra people from the local level. We have preached to the people in Nigeria. We have preached to the indigenous people in Nigeria. We have preached to the African people. We are now preaching to Europeans. We are now preaching to Americans. We are now preaching to Asians. We are now preaching to those who are interested, who want to save the life of indigenous people in Nigeria, so that Nigeria will not use the Taliban of Nigeria to kill everybody and turn Nigeria into an Islamic state. We are going to fight. We are Christians, and we have what we call dangerous diversity in Nigeria, and a very destructive diversity that can never work. Today, we are going to bring our lights to the world from what is happening in Munich, or what happened in Munich, where they have what we call the Munich Security Conference about the Ukraine war, and the NATO membership of the NATO, and the crisis around the world, especially within Europe. So we are going to analyze some of these videos from this Munich conference, where they are discussing the freedom of people in Europe, where they are discussing the security of people in Europe. So I want to learn from there, and then I will use it to, do some things from the perspective of the Biafra people. We are all human beings. If you can fight for Ukraine, if Russia invaded Ukraine, you have to fight for Biafra. As Nigeria has invaded Biafra. If you say that Russia has breached and violated the law, Nigeria also has violated the law, the international law. Nigeria has violated United Nations human rights, which they are also signatory to. Nigeria has violated the law just as Russia. And on that ground, we are opting out. We are saying that what Nigeria is parading to the world as a democratic process, they call it the general election, is not a democratic process. And that is why the Biafra people are going to not allow Nigeria to conduct election in its territory, because the election of Nigeria is not a democratic process. There is nothing democratic when you have 400,000 Boko Haram in the Nigerian army or police to come to Biafra land and lay a siege and ask people to come out and vote. That is not a democratic process. It is worse than what is going on in Ukraine. So on that ground, Biafra people are only requesting the opportunity to have a true democratic process, which is what we call the referendum. So by the time we succeed in stopping Nigeria from conducting this election in different countries, we are going to now begin to demand and have what we call a referendum that will give every person the right to participate and decide their future, whether they want to be part of a terrorist country or not, whether they want to be part of a country that have committed crime globally, whether they want to be part of a country that all they do is to treat criminals, and whether they want to be part of a country that everything innovation has been abolished, and they have adopted what we call the Sunni, which is that they abolish everything innovation. We are innovative, and we don't want to be part of a country where they are abolishing innovation and they are adopting what we call Sunni. So this particular diversity is very dangerous and very destructive, and it must end this year. If it did not end this year, we may find ourselves in the position or the situation like the Afghanistan people, and at the end of the day, the Taliban will take over. I want to inform you today, those of you listening from Europe, from America, that some of you that are into security issues, you know that Nigeria has always, tried to rehabilitate terrorists, and they will now, recruit them into the security agencies. When you come to Africa, with African mentality and the ideology of terrorists, you cannot recruit terrorists and rehabilitate them within 6 months, and you say you are now recruiting them into Nigeria security apparatus. And you allow us, you expect us to keep quiet and want to, live our life in a country like that? No. We want to stop Afghanistan template that is being played in Nigeria. In Afghanistan, it took them 20 years. America pumped money for good over 20 years. At the end of the day, they defeated everybody and they took over Afghanistan. We cannot just watch and look at Afghanistan repeated in Nigeria. Why you put our life in danger in the name of politics? Why you put our life in danger in the name of democracy? There is no democracy in Nigeria. We are fighting for the true democracy, and that is why we will not allow this fraudulent election to hold in Biafra land. If you support this election, you are fighting against democracy. If you support this election, you are fighting against justice. If you support this election, you are fighting against fairness. In Nigeria, after you go into the poll to vote, the court of the Fulani will give a decision and decide who will become the chairman, or who will become the governor, or who will become even the president. So we do not want to validate Nigeria again, and we are making this position very clear to the international community. We are saying that Nigeria are bringing over 400,000 security personnel to force Biafra into election, and we are not going to allow that. So if you are coming from the Western world to be an observer in Biafra land, you may end up witnessing a war of separation. And because when these 400,000 policemen come to Biafra, they are not coming for peace. They are coming to kill our young men, kill our children, kill our women, burn our houses, and we cannot hold our hand and watch. So we're going to fight back. So if you are coming to Biafra land in the name of observer, just be very security conscious, because you may end up coming to observe war between Nigeria and Biafra, because they are going to come in our land to fight war with 400,000 policemen that they could not provide when the Fulanis are killing our people. They could not provide the security when their sponsored jihadists and terrorists come to our land to kill. Today, they are deploying 400,000 policemen to conduct election. It is unacceptable. And Biafra people have made up their mind. I am just a spokesperson for the Biafra people. And I'm telling them they are right, and they are agreeing to that information, they are agreeing to the advice and the directive I'm giving to them as the spokesperson of Biafra. So today, we are going to listen from our own other people from Europe, from the European Union side, from NATO, from Unity Conference that is happening in Munich, And we are going to get and borrow some words, and add it to what we are doing. People to understand that we are not just coming to social media to rant. Rather, we have come for a just cause and a just fight. Fight to freedom. That's all. We are not interested in any other thing other than referendum for the Biafra people. The time is now. Right, I welcome you for this opening speech. A lot of issues have been touched and addressed. You are watching live and direct on Enter Biafra Channel 1, live and direct on Enter Biafra 97.5 FM Biafra land. Watching live and direct on other auto-piloted IPOD platform. I want everybody to pay attention to what I'm about to do this evening.
We confirm this U.S. support, but we all know next year the United States will enter into an election campaign. We are in a democracy. We know which side of the aisle the result will be. How sure are you that, how certain are you that what you said that Putin wants to wait us out, that it will not succeed?
Thank you, Christoph. As I said, I believe, and I believe the American people understand the stakes. And the stakes being our moral interest and our strategic interest.
Our moral interest, our strategic interest. I want you to listen to this. Our moral interest. In Biafra today, within the Nigeria state, our fight now is a fight for our moral interest. Moral interest. Moral interest. Commands in America, we are all the same. They are not more better than us. If America fight for their moral interest, Biafra people have started fighting for their moral interest. Our moral interest is constantly being violated in Nigeria by the Nigeria state because of the differences in diversity. So we want to fight to also protect our moral interest. And our moral interest can only be protected as an independent state where we can practice this democracy to the fullest. Thank you.
States will enter into election campaign. We are in a democracy. We know which side of the aisle the result will be. How sure are you that, how certain are you that what you said that Putin wants to wait us out, but in the end he will not succeed?
Thank you, Christoph. As I said, I believe, and I believe the American people understand the stakes. And the stakes being our moral interest and our strategic interest.
Our moral interest and our strategic interest. Like I said before, I want to borrow something from them. I want to learn this what they are saying, because this is now the highest level, of international politics. So what we do now is to protect our moral interest. Our moral interest has been violated, has been rubbished in Nigeria. Nigeria do not have any moral, they don't protect any moral interest of any ethnic group in Nigeria. They do not protect any moral interest of any ethnic nationality in Nigeria. And the time has come that we begin to adopt the West style of civilization. So we are also demanding that our interests, our moral interests, will be protected. And the only place it can be protected is in Biafra nation, where we have where our diversity is completely dissolved, and we can progress and build our nation as people with the same cultural value, with the same moral value system, with everything the same. We have no same moral value system in the northern Nigeria. We do not have anything in common. In fact, it is 1,000 poles apart. clashing of interest. So when you are trying to protect your moral value in Nigeria, where a northerner is a jihadist, where the whole system has been colonized, it does not work. They look for you to kill. Now I am preaching that our people need to have freedom, and they are placing $100,000 bounty on my head. As you can see, they have increased the money from $50,000 to $100,000 because I am asking for freedom. The moral value system can never be protected in Nigeria. And the picture here explains it. Nigeria retirees and European retirees. This cannot be accepted anymore. We want to give our retirees a good life and a better standard of living. We cannot continue to allow retirees to live like animals, like you see them sitting on the street, while in Europe, retirees are well treated and have people taking care of them. We want a Biafra where this moral value that has been bastardized, as you can see in the picture, will be respected and protected. Thank you, and let us continue.
I will tell you, I travel around the United States, and I have seen the Ukrainian flag fly in places most of you probably never heard of in the United States.
Biafra flag will be next. Ukrainian flag is flying most places where everybody did not, where most of people didn't know they exist. And I just pray that we did not go to the point where the Biafra flag have to fly everywhere in America before our freedom is given to us.
Storefronts.
Because it can be avoided by just requesting for referendum, and everybody will vote. And after that, everybody will go to his house and answer his father's name.
In front of homes, people proudly wearing, Americans proudly wearing colors. The American people are aware of the images of bloodshed. The American people take great pride in a fight for independence.
American people take great pride in a fight for independence. I want you to understand that it is not only America that take great pride in a fight for independence. Biafran people are just as human beings as American people, and we have decided to emulate you by taking pride in the fight for independence. And this is not the independence of another country. We are not taking pride in fighting for independence of another country. Rather, we are taking pride now in the fight of our own independence, of our own life, of our own future. And we are appealing to you, if this comes to your table, because it is going to come by the time Biafra succeed in stopping this particular fraud or election, it will come to your table. When it comes to your table, please remember that we want to emulate you by taking pride in fighting for freedom that is not for another people but for ourselves and for our future. Please, it is a plea and appeal I am making to America and to the world that America should not be the only country that will fight and get pride in fighting for freedom. We are not fighting for another country's freedom. We are not taking pride in that. We don't have the capacity to do that yet. But at least we are taking pride, the Biafra people, in standing very tall against Nigeria to fight for our own freedom. That's what we are starting from this year. And so this coming week may not be very funny to the world.
That being part of the foundation of our nation and our principles and values. I think about where the United States is going on this issue based on the track record of where we've been.
This is exactly the track record of where America has been. I am not here to talk against America, but we can see the track record in Afghanistan. We have seen the track record. Okay? We've seen the track record in Libya. We've seen the track record in Iraq. We've seen the track record in Syria. Okay? That is not to say that whatever they did that time was wrong. but it's a track record we are talking about, right? And we have been killed in millions. America supported it at some point. In the 60s, during the Biafra war, we were killed. America, the world watched how they starved us to death. And Biafra people, children, died in their millions. And that war has not ended. It still continues. The starvation has not ended. It still continues. So this particular broadcast today is going to be very short, so that the world will understand that we have a problem, and this problem needs to be solved. We do not need to go into war to solve it. There is a possibility that your action and not overlooking Africa will solve this problem without combat. But the point I'm trying to make today as a representative of Biafra people is that Biafra is also ready to go the round for the second time. That is what it takes. Those people that are making comments on social media, they are just minority. They have access to the internet, and they can make noise on social media. Those people following P2B and co, they just have access to the internet. They are ignorant of their own problem. And the majority of America did not agree for America to go to Afghanistan. There are opposition parties that did not accept American invasion in Iraq. There are opposition political parties that did not accept America going to invade Syria. There are opposition political parties and Americans, millions, that did not agree with Obama when Obama invaded Libya. It is normal. So the question here is that the majority of Biafra people want to leave Nigeria. So P2B, as a single person who does not have anything to offer, cannot be a distraction to whether our moral interests should be protected outside Nigeria or not. To know whether our future should be protected outside Nigeria or not. I want to say this thing, and I'm expecting that one day this whole thing will escalate if you people do not want to intervene and solve it now that it has not escalated. Because definitely, freedom, everybody knows freedom is not given, it's taken. Just like the Ukrainians are taking their own by force against Russia, we are going to take our own also against Nigeria. And we are doing that already. It is important that this particular coming week, that Nigeria is planning to murder our people by deploying 400,000 policemen. These policemen are security agencies. Some of them are ex-Boko Haram members that they have recruited, rehabilitated according to them, and recruited into the system. And they are not coming to Biafra land to, follow the rule of engagement or follow the rule of law. They are coming to kill. They are coming to cause chaos. They are coming to cause crisis. And the ignorant people will say, oh, you are the one causing it because you are agitating and fighting for your freedom. Is that a justification to come and start killing innocent people because Simon Ekpa is preaching the freedom of Biafra? Do you justify that? I want everybody to know that this message today must be caught and edited and shared and let it go to the world. We are going to broadcast it. Share it to all media that you know, so they understand that we are not shaking. We are going to stand on our ground of no election, only referendum will be allowed in Biafra land. And next week, Biafra people are going to speak. We are going to speak in a very strong voice that will shock the world.
You only have to look at where we were a year ago and where we are today in terms of the contributions and resources that America has put into everything from ammunition to artillery to air defense.
Sometimes these ammunitions and defense goes into the wrong hand. I'm not talking about Ukraine, but I'm talking from the history. We have the same value system with America. Why are you not giving us arms to defend ourselves against terrorists and jihadist government? Why do you have to give arms to people that do not have the same faith with you? I'm not talking about Ukraine, and don't get me wrong. I'm talking about the past and previous investment of America in Arab countries. Why do you go to support Afghanistan Taliban. Why do you go to give arms to them? You don't have the same faith. You don't have the same cultural value system. You don't even have the same moral interest. Your moral interests are not the same. Why do you choose to fund and arm them, for whatever reason, and now we are now in a state of anarchy in our land against Nigeria. Nigeria state is coming and committing genocide in our land, killing us just because we want to demand our right to govern ourselves. We want to demand independence. Just want to enjoy, just like Ukraine has been. We want to do and live like the people in Europe. Is that a crime? The investment you can do that will benefit you will be the only investment America and Europe can do now is to support Biafra exit from Nigeria. We have the resources, we have the minerals, we have whatever you take, we have the brain. And working with Biafra people will be the best thing for global peace. For peace in Africa, for peace in the Sahel, so that the influx of immigrants from Africa, which is mainly being supplied by Nigeria, to Europe will reduce. Once that reduces, it will reduce the crime that Nigerians are committing all over the world. So it is for your interest. And I will, at this juncture, bring the video of this man who also lamented how Boko Haram will take over Nigeria and will turn Nigeria and they make Nigeria safe haven, and at the end of the day they are going to attack America. With the emergence of Biafra as a nation, they can never succeed in attacking America. So I want everybody to watch.
They're willing to cooperate because of that, because they know each other, because there's some tribal ties and engagements that allow them to work together, whereas in other parts of the world they have different objectives and a little bit different view. And so they tend to bring Islamic State and Al-Qaeda into conflict. Here, they're able to overcome that and work for a common purpose in their mind. I think long term, we don't know when this will happen, but long term they want to establish themselves, they want to establish a caliphate, and they are willing, we know they have not only the desire, but the will to attack the United States and the West.
You see, in the long time, they don't know when this is going to be. They don't know when this is going to be, but in the long time, they know that they're going to attack the United States and the West. I didn't say it. It's coming from a general who has been in the Sahel region. So let us listen to him again.
I think long term, we don't know when this will happen.
Long time.
They want to establish themselves, they want to establish a caliphate, and they are willing, we know they have not only the desire, but the will to attack the United States and the West. When
they establish the caliphate, once they found Nigeria a safe haven, they establish a caliphate, they are going to attack America and the West. That's what we're fighting. You see? So when you disintegrate Nigeria, you have disintegrated this threat that is a futuristic threat that is posing to, against America and the West. So I want everybody to understand that when we are fighting for our freedom, we are fighting for the safety of Europe and the safety of America. Because once they succeed in taking Nigeria, just like they take Afghanistan, that is the end. You are all going to be in hell, waiting for any day that the caliphate from Nigeria will come to Europe and attack you. They are going to be sponsoring terrorists into Europe, and it is going to happen, but we are going to stop them this year.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats now so we can prepare the room for the next session. Vote for your Ukraine policy.
I think, should I start, Nadia? Yeah. I think it is important that we're very clear about what this Russian war is. It is about Putin's imperialistic plans. And this is something where all of us, and mainly the global south, have a very, it is completely unacceptable. And countries on the other side have a long-standing experience. First, you send the negotiators in, then you send they see that the experts are being sent in, and then it's the mercenaries that are being sent in. So what we have to do is not only explain that we will never ever accept this imperialistic war, we will never ever accept that Putin is trampling on the international law that protects all of us, that the UN Charter, that is also in the interest, I mean, it's in the interest of every single country, is being treated so disrespectful, and that we will never accept that today you can send tanks just across the border to invade a country.
And I want to also remind the European Union that everything that they have said here, the Nigerian government has done it in Biafra land. The Nigerian government has breached and violated all available international law. They have committed extraordinary rendition, kidnapping Mazin Africano from Kenya because Africa is corrupt and nobody is talking. And Mazin Africano is a British citizen, and they kidnap him from Kenya, rendition him, torture him for 8 days, subject him to all manner of degrading treatment and human rights abuse and torture, and sent him to Nigeria and incarcerated him. He didn't end there. I want to inform the European Union that in addition to this, the United Nations Arbitrary Committee on against torture and arbitrary detention also have issued ultimatum to the Nigeria state to release Mazin Africano within 6 months and compensate him. 6 months has expired. Nigeria violated that particular directive from the United Nations. I want to inform Europe that Nigerian government have committed as worse crime than Russia put against the Biafra. The only difference here is that Biafra at this day is still within the Nigeria state, and they are sending the military attacks to Biafra land within Nigeria to kill their own citizens. The difference here is that while Putin is sending military tanks across border, Nigeria is sending military tanks within its own border as Nigeria state, and they are killing their own citizens, and nobody is stopping. So I want Europe to understand that Nigeria state has committed worse crime. The number of deaths being recorded in Nigeria every day number 100 times the number of deaths being recorded in Ukraine, with all the military strike and the tanks that Russia is sending to Ukraine. So I want this particular record to be very straight, that purity, civil war is ongoing in Nigeria, and the Biafra people cannot take it anymore. And we do not want to be part of a country like that. Again, there is no plan for development. There is no plan for innovative future in Nigeria. Everything is going down, and their plan is just to Islamize us and turn us into caliphate. And we are not going to accept that kind of arrangement. You cannot force us to change our faith from Christian to caliphate, to Muslims. We are not Muslims. We are very, very different people. Our cultures are different, languages are different, everything is different. So, and this particular issue that is happening today, the crisis in Nigeria, is a long time coming. It's a history that we have. We cannot continue to overlook this historic mistake and miscarriage of justice against the Biafra people. And we are going to go into the poll this coming week to validate Nigeria again. So we are putting this to the notice to the Americans, to the Europeans, to understand that we are also human beings fighting for our future, fighting for rights to live, fighting for right to existence, fighting for the right to practice our faith and religion, fighting for the right to participate in a democratic process that is globally acceptable. And the democratic process starts by allowing the people to choose how they want to live their life free. And if you do not allow them to choose, then are inviting anarchy, and they have to revolt against the system. And that is happening already. Let us continue.
And this is something which my experience in the last 12 months needs a lot of just work, to work together with the Global South, to make understood our point of view, but also to work with them on dealing with the knock-on effect of this atrocious war. This is the food crisis, this is the energy crisis, and that we do our utmost to deal with the knock-on effects in a way that the Global South does not suffer too much from Putin's war of aggression. This is our task. It's hard work, but it's absolutely worth it.
Prime Minister Marin, somebody as cult a hero around the world as President Lula of Brazil also doesn't believe in the intervention that you all have taken in NATO against, as you described, the illegal invasion of one country by a bigger country. So, as Commissioner von der Leyen says, we will never support this. We understand the historic issues. How do you see?
Now, this is another comment from another country president that they will never support this, that they understand the historical issue. Question I want to ask to America, to Europe today: what do you know about Nigeria historical issues? What do you know? How conversant are you with the Nigeria historical issues? How conversant are you with the formation of Nigeria? How conversant are you with the Biafran plight in Nigeria? How conversant are you with all these historical issues about Nigeria, and how do you intend to deal with it? Because it is all about now the historical, that they know historical issues. So I hope that you are all aware of the historical issues when it comes to Nigeria, because from next week it is going to be an escalation. That escalation will definitely call your attention that you start talking about it. So I hope that when this time comes, you are going to know the historical issues of Nigeria, because the discussion will be coming from that particular perspective, the historical issue in Nigeria. Very, very important. Right, let us continue.
Trying to convince others of the justness of your cause.
The war in Ukraine, it's not only an issue for Europe, it's an issue for the whole world. And that's because there's war of values going on. Authoritarian.
Exactly the same thing, my Prime Minister. What we are fighting for has become the fight for value. Everything has to do with value system. Now, do you have the same value system with the caliphate? The answer is no. Do you have the same value system with the jihadists? The answer is no. The only people that you have the same value system with are the Igbos, are the Biafrans, are the Efis, are all the other ethnic groups that comprise the Biafran people. These are the people that you have the same value system. You don't have the value system with people against the nomadic terrorists. You don't have the same value system with these jihadists. You don't have the same value system with the Taliban of Nigeria. So you have the same value system with us. And it is the same clash of interests that they have subjugated us into this slavery by mistake because of the British interest. Britain left the European Union and they voted, and a lot of people in Britain voted against leaving the European Union. Something is happening in Biafra today. So people, if you ask the question, are you sitting at home? No, I'm not sitting at home because I want Biafra. They are forcing me. But you want Biafra? Yes. The same thing is happening in Europe. Something has happened to the United Kingdom. Something will continue to happen, and it is normal in democracy. Some people will agree, some people will not agree. But at the end of the day, majority carries the vote. During the time the United Kingdom was exiting the European Union, a lot of people in the United Kingdom objected it. Even to today, some people are still objecting that it was not the right decision. Yet, they exited. We are asking to have the same right of existence, that we respect our rights and our value. Why I'm making this broadcast today is that it's going to go down in history. In the next coming week, it will be unbelievable. And your attention must be called when the time comes. So you have to learn to respect our own value and our own right to protect that particular value system, the interest that follows it. That's all I'm preaching. And that's why I have invested and sacrificed my life, put my life in danger to make sure that I educate my people that they have a choice. They have a choice not to validate Nigeria this country. And they have agreed that they are not going to validate Nigeria. So if Nigeria is bringing security agents to kill us like they do in the past, we have already arms, which we are using to defend ourselves. We are going to defend the land of Biafra. And it will not end well.
Countries are raising their heads. They are raising their heads against the international rule-based order. And this is a problem for everyone. When Russia attacked Ukraine, it violated all the rules, all the agreements it has itself been committed to before.
Exactly the same thing. When Nigeria went to Kenya to kidnap a British citizen who happened to come from Biafra land, they violated every international agreement. When Nigeria refused to obey United Nations Arbitrary Committee, they violated international law. A violation of the law is a violation of the law. Law is law. Violation of international treaty, violation of international instrument, violation of international agreement is a violation of international agreement. Cross-border crime. A cross-border crime is a cross-border crime. Nigeria has committed that crime. Nigeria has disobeyed the United Nations. They have no regard to international agreement. They have no regard to international law. We cannot choose to continue to live a life like that. So we want to enjoy the same rights, just like every one of you in the European Union.
And this is a problem for everyone, because then we will only see decades of this kind of behavior ahead of us if Ukraine doesn't win the war and if we don't stand behind our values and the international rule-based order. So I think
that is it. Ukraine is definitely going to win the war because they are fighting for their rights. So they are definitely going to win the war. But we are also standing behind our value. Our Prime Minister, a very, very brilliant lady, she is speaking in mind, just like, every in an average thing. They pour out their heart when they talk. So she's speaking it the way it is. We stand strongly, behind our value system. And that's what is driving and propelling Simon Ekpa to do what he is doing today. And I'm not going to stop. Rather, I am increasing the tempo. This fire is increasing. And by tomorrow, from tomorrow going forward, the fire will go to the highest degree. Because I am standing very strongly behind my values, which is not the same with the caliphate that are ruling Nigeria and the bandits that are ruling Nigeria.
This is a larger issue than just issue for Europe, just issue for Ukraine. And we have to do utmost to make sure that Ukraine will win and that we will preserve this system of rules that we have created together. And there was a reason why this was created. The wars before, wars that we have seen, and it was devastating. And that's why we built a system where we can negotiate, where we can build peace.
Exactly. The reason all these things were, put in place, NATO, United Nations, is because of the devastating war that we have fought. So the world came together to look for a way to negotiate for peace. Today, there is still that opportunity to negotiate for peace in Nigeria. And the only thing that will bring this peace in Nigeria is this particular disintegration, to disintegrate these our differences. It's not too much to ask. That is the work of the United Nations. The crisis in Nigeria, the terrorism in Nigeria that is being funded by a particular region from the north, have to end. How do you end it? look at what is the cause of this terrorism in Nigeria? The cause is that the jihadists, the caliphate, want to take over Nigeria. In case you do not know the reason why they want to take over Nigeria, I want to bring it to the table because we need to know the causes of what is happening. I want everybody to pay attention to this particular video. Now, why are we, why is this issue of the situation of Nigeria have to happen? And why should the United Nations intervene? The reason is here.
Hello, welcome to a spirited debate. I'm Lauren Green. Boko Haram has been terrorizing Nigeria's Christian community for years now, victimizing those who would stand in the group's way of creating an Islamic state. Christian Solidarity International is on the ground in Nigeria, working with victims to give them support they need. Franco Kumayo is the program manager of Nigeria's projects and joins me now to explain the religious tensions smoldering in this region. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
You know, the interesting thing about Boko Haram, which I didn't know before, is that they really come out of Sudan. And we know the strife that was in Sudan, where they broke the country in two. So explain where they come from.
Well, I can put it this way. Nigeria, after independence, the first two missions they have, one was in London and one was in New York. The third mission after that was in Sudan. And there is a reason for that. Sudan is the shortcut to Mecca. Someone from Nigeria, they go through Chad and go to Sudan and then go to the Mecca for the pilgrim.
The Mecca, to go to Mecca,
yes.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And because of that, there are a lot of Nigerians who go to Sudan on the way to Mecca. Mm-hmm. And when they come back at that port, they stay there. Mm-hmm. And Sudan become their own country. Now, when the Islamic government came to Sudan in 1998, mm-hmm. and their agenda was to Islamize Sudan in general, they were working with Nigerians. They were working with Osama bin Laden. When Osama bin Laden was pushed out from Sudan, he took with him one group of the terror, and then another group left in Sudan, and the third group was sent out to disturb the neighboring country. Part of those groups were Boko Haram, who were sent to Nigeria. And the idea is Sudan believed that the people who are ruling Nigeria now are not extremely enough, like the way it used to be. So the Boko Haram, people who start Boko Haram, they did the training in Khartoum with Osama bin Laden, and then they were sent to Nigeria.
I hope you are listening. And one of the person who is the founder of this Boko Haram now is running to become the vice president of Tinubu. And in a such system, when this information is out there and it's a fact, you still have that right to participate in a democratic process. So how do you justify, that you want us to go into a democratic process where a founder of a terrorist group is running to become the vice president? Is that the kind of country you want to be part of? Because even if he did not succeed in becoming the vice president, he still have a very much influence in the system. How should we continue to do like that? So I want everybody to understand where the problem of Nigeria is coming from, and of course, the kind of dangerous diversity that we have, and we must make sure that this diversity is disintegrated for peace. And this is where the European Union, who knows the importance of NATO and the United Nations, should step in and understand that the purpose of forming this organization is for global peace. And for global peace, and for peace to come to Nigeria and Sahel and West Africa, Nigeria needs to be solved. People should be given the opportunity to vote and participate in a true democratic process called the referendum.
So there's all Al-Qaeda ties.
It's all Al-Qaeda. Boko Haram is the Taliban of Nigeria. But
Boko Haram is the Taliban of Nigeria. And today, Afghanistan, Taliban has taken over Afghanistan, and they are now planning how to take over Nigeria because they have infiltrated all the security agencies in Nigeria.
that's the way I can put it.
Who are these people that become members of Boko Haram? Who are they? Are they disenfranchised? Or are they educated? Or are they unemployed? Who are they?
These are coming from the two tribes in Nigeria, Fulani and Hausa tribe. Those are Muslim. And you can see in Nigeria, bordering to Chad, there is a state called Borno. Mm-hmm. Those people, it's easy for them to go to Chad and go to Sudan and go to the Mecca. And when they come back, In 1998, the Sudan government opened up the scholarship for the young Nigerians to go for education. But those people were sent to the training camp to be taught up. So they are the young Nigerians who are educated, who go to Sudan and they pretend they are going for a scholarship. And they were trained there and then sent back to Nigeria.
And these are the Boko Haram.
And those are the Boko Haram members.
From January 2012 to July 2013, Boko Haram bombed, burned, or attacked 50 churches, killing at least 366. Why are they going after Christians?
They believe that they should be the one to rule the Nigeria, especially when Goodluck Johnson, the president, who is the president of Nigeria currently, is a Christian from the south. And I think that set them off, that how could the Christian be a president in the country where there is a Muslim? They believe that.
Now, that is the problem. That, make them kick off. How could a Christian be president in a country, in Nigeria, where there are Muslims? Now, these people are shouting P2P, P2P, P2P. And what happened to Jonathan? P2P code, of course, that is not even happening, but just to tell you that it will be worse, if not what we are doing today. It will be worse, because the same Boko Haram is there. Shetima is there. All the people that are funding Boko Haram, they are very, very active in Nigeria. And so, if you renew this agreement, you are going to have worse situation than what they did to Jonathan. They will destabilize the country, and you are going to be enslaved for a very long time. And we don't want to follow you, your stupid self, into this particular stupid decision. That's why majority of Biafra have decided that coming week, nobody will go out to vote in Biafra. I want you people to listen to what has happened to you before. You are going to do something to renew it again so that it will happen to you the second time. And the second time, you may not survive it.
The country should be ruled by Sharia law. And if you can see to Nigeria, the 12 states in the north, they apply the Sharia law in the country. Even though there are minority Muslims who live on the Christian, but still they apply the Sharia law. So to them is that they should take all the Nigeria to be ruled by Islamic law. So
are you hearing that? The agenda is to take all the Nigerians to be ruled by Islamic law. That is the reason why in all political parties they fixed themselves. In PDP, they are the presidential candidate. In ABC, they are the vice presidential candidate. In Labour Party, they are the vice presidential candidate. They have succeeded in fixing themselves in all the political parties. Just whoever win is a win for them. Whoever lose is a win for them. How do you continue in a country like that? I just want the European Union to understand in case they pretend not to know.
Not use violence against each other, wars, attack another country to make a stand or gain something. And to that end, when you came into office, as early as this time last year, you were saying that Finland would not want to join NATO, and then a month later was the invasion, and now obviously you're trying to join NATO. There is a little bit of a kerfuffle with Turkey deciding whether it's going to approve or not. We understood from the Secretary General of NATO that maybe now there will be separate tracks. Do you expect to join NATO separately, or are you committed to trying to join it together with Sweden? When the war started 24th of February last year, and now we're heading towards a very sad anniversary, 1 year anniversary of the war just next week, it was obvious that Finland will join NATO. It was obvious at the same day when Russia attacked Ukraine. The Finnish mindset, the most important thing for Finnish people is to make sure that we are independent, we are secure, we have a sovereign country, we can make our own decisions.
Are you hearing it? The most important thing for Finnish people is that we are independent, we are secured, we can make our own decision. And you can see that in my life today. You can see that in my life. I am also a Finnish person. And I want to bring this particular life back to my people. So we don't become dependent, on any nation. The reason I want to bring this video to you today is for you to understand that when I say I am made in Biafra, nurtured in Finland and also trained in Finland, is that I did not just live in this country like a Nigerian, because I can't be proud to live even when I am not joined Biafra. Proud to be living in a country as a Nigerian. If you live in a country as a Nigerian, you are a criminal, because Nigeria, what they do is to commit crime. I didn't live in this country as a Nigerian. I live in this country, and I integrated, and the system assimilated into me. So I want you to look at and listen to what our Prime Minister is saying about the thing, and you understand from where, and you understand why I am paid in the ass of whoever that has tampered with the security, with the freedom of my people. Now you understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. And if you think that you are going to force me to step down on what I'm doing, my brother, I said I am nurtured in Finland. And I want to play it again for you to understand. That's what we call the value system. Value system.
Whether it's going to approve or not. We understood from the Secretary General of NATO that maybe now there will be separate tracks. Do you expect to join NATO separately, or are you committed to trying to join it together with Sweden?
When the war started, 24th of February last year, and now we're heading towards very sad anniversary, 1 year anniversary of the war, just next week. It was obvious that Finland will join NATO. It was obvious at the same day when Russia attacked Ukraine. The Finnish mindset, the most important thing for Finnish people is to make sure that we are independent.
The most important thing for Finnish people is that we are independent.
Secure.
We are secure.
We have a sovereign country. We
have a sovereign country where we can make our own decisions.
Make our own decisions. This is number one issue for Finnish people.
Do you understand that? And this particular Finnish people way of thinking have entered me, and I want to use it to save my own people.
And when Russia, our neighbor, attacked another neighbor, Ukraine, it was obvious that Finland will join NATO, because that's the line, that's the only line that Russia wouldn't cross. So
are you hearing that? I want to take this back again, because you need to know that we are not taking this in.
Finland will join NATO. It was obvious at the same day when Russia attacked Ukraine. That means that the most important thing for Finnish people is to make sure that we are independent, we are secure, we have a sovereign country, we can make our own decisions. This is the number one issue for Finnish people. And when Russia, our neighbor, attacked another neighbor, Ukraine, it was obvious that Finland will join NATO, because that's the line, that's the only line that Russia wouldn't cross. So it's to do with our security, it's to do with peace. It's an act of peace for Finland to join NATO. We have sent a very clear message. We want to join together with Sweden at the same time. It's not only because we are good neighbors and good partners, it's also to do with very concrete matters. The security planning of NATO in the whole north, it's in interest of us, but it's also in the interest of NATO that Finland and Sweden will join simultaneously. And we have sent very clear signal and very clear message to Turkey and also to Hungary, that hasn't ratified yet, that we want to enter NATO together, and this is in the interest of everyone.
So you see, this is what civilization is all about. As I am here now, lecturing you, creating this awareness to understand why Samanepa is doing what he's doing. The caliphate, the representative of the caliphate, called Garuba, Adamu Garuba, was on Russian TV. You know, because you know that it's like the TV is they are working together. there was a Russian TV demanding the arrest of Samanekpa. Demanding arrest of Samanekpa for fighting for this right. You know, the Fulani man, the terrorist representative in Nigeria called Adamu Garuba, was on RT, Russian TV, demanding the arrest of Samanekpa, you know, from Russia TV. You know, I just see that he posted it on his Facebook page, you know, saying that he said that I was on Russian TV to discuss on the threat of election disruption in the southeast by terrorists and whatever. He is the one that is a terrorist. And I used the opportunity to further demand for the Ekpa arrest. This is somebody who is in Nigeria funding terrorism, funding the invasion of our land, and turn around and go to the Russian TV, you know, because they have access there. You know, they give them money, you know, freely. They have access to go to the Russian TV to broadcast and make their nonsense announcement. But here, we are discussing civilization. We're discussing freedom. We're discussing which these people in Nigeria don't know. They don't know what is money. They don't know what is money system. And we are bringing it to our own nation. We want to live like them. We want to be better than these people. And we are not going back. While this was going on, this is what we get in Nigeria state.
You have just watched a very mind-blowing message of our Prime Minister, Mazi Samanekpa. This was the very broadcast that broke the camel's back. This was the broadcast that made the West to connive against Mazi Samanekpa to arrest him. This was the broadcast that exposed Nigerian government to the last drop of their veins, and they couldn't have it. And they went ahead to go and arrest Mazi Samanekpa. That is why I brought it back. You can go back and watch this broadcast again and again and again. Pay attention. Those revelations and those videos, most of them you cannot see online again. Most of them have been hidden, but we will continue to bring them to the Biafran people to take back your mind from where we are coming from. I appreciate everyone that have witnessed this very mind-blowing revelations. Please try and share to other people, and we are going to be back tomorrow morning to continue on another section of this very revelations. This is a time to be serious. There is no time for propaganda and blackmail. There is no time for gossip. There is no time to fight each other. Our enemies will get it hot from us, and we will face them squarely, and we'll take the war to them. Prepare yourself as a Biafran wherever you are. We must continue, and there is no going back. We have made our decision, and that decision stands. We will continue to fight until the last man standing. So wherever you are as a Biafran, tighten up your belt, stay strong, and never give up, because Biafra is here already. Thank you so much for watching wherever you are watching from. I will see you again tomorrow by the grace of God. Thank you and stay safe.
Akara m ihe mbe na-eme mbe si ma achọrọ ofu ukwu ehi ma nke ọzọ mụ achọrọ ihe niile ma nkwụ ya ma aka ya ma isi ya ma olu ya anyị ga-adọbiri wee pụọ na nke onwe anyị tigata azụ etu anyị nọ tupu ndị ọcha wee bịa ebe a nwa aha obodo ebe a nwe ndị mmadụ n'ime tupu nwa bekee si ebe o si hapụ obodo ya ọ bịa ebe a ọkpọrọ onye nke ọkpọrọ okeke ọkpọrọ okafọ dakata anyị isi ọ sị n'ụbọchị nke taa na anya aha anyị wusi Naijiria anyị na-aza aha na-enweghị omimi n'ime ya ngwa gị gbasị biko kọwara m ihe Naijiria pụtara enwepụghị kọwara m ọmụa ga-aza aha osimiri ka osimiri ga-aza aha mụnwa n'ihi ihe anyị na-ekwuwu na ebe arụgidere ụlọ a na ọ jọgburu onwe ya ọ dịghị mma Naijiria agaghị emekọtanwu ihe ọzọ ihe ọjọọ emego n'obodo a arụ emego egbugo ndị be anyị aka na-egbukwa anyị ndị Fulani wee chere na mabata be anyị ka na-egbukwa ndị be anyị ruo ụtụtụ echi a na-asị m na ọ ga-adị mma oge ọ na-ekwekwu ka nwee mmekọrịta bụ nke ndị iro kọ nke ndị ụmụnne ha gosigo anyị ọtụtụ mgbe ha kpọrọ anyị asị onye ajụrụ ajụ na-ajụ onwe ya ha jụrụ anyị aja ama njụ onwe anyị agbanyeghị na anyị nwe ngwa ahịa n'ugwu Awụsa agbanyeghị na anyị na-azụ ahịa ebe niile dị iche iche na-eme nke ọma kama onye gara ndụ kpakụ onye ire rie n'ihe ọ Ndụbụisi ka anyị na-ekwu okwu ya ka anyị cheghata azụ ebe a ruo obodo anyị ka o wee maa mma wee karịa obodo ndị ọcha na mma ọhịa anyị na-arịọ nwoke na ugwu nwee nkwanye ugwu n'ime onwe anyị ọnwa anyị pụọ n'iro a na-etigbu anyị pụọ n'iro ekwu ekwu asị ọ bụ gịnị ma anyị ji wee ekwu okwu ọnwụ ihe ndị a ka anyị sị na anyị agaghị anabatakwa ya ọzọ.
Ma akụkọ a kọrọ anyị bụ na ọkụkọ na ewu agaghị nzukọ ụmụ anụmanụ a na-emezi mgbe ọbụla a chọrọ ịchụ aja ejiri ọkụkọ maọbụ nwụchụ aja mgbe ọbụla a chọrọ ime ka Naijiria dị n'otu enwe ha na-eto esi mgbe kpam akpụrụ ndị Igbo ọ pụtara na anyị bụ ọkụkọ maọbụ ka ọ pụtara na anyị agaghị nzukọ mere ya bụ ihe eji eme anyị bụ ndị Igbo ụdị na ọbara ndị Igbo ahụ kpafu n'obodo Naijiria karịa
ọ bụ site na akpọmasị ihe na-eme anyị dịka ihe mere ndị ji oge mgbe gara aga etu ọkụka mba niile dị iche iche ji kpọọ ụmụ Izrel asị a na-egbu ha a na-egbu ha a na-egbu ha afọ niile aka na-egbu ha o wee ruo oge ugbu anyị asị na ogbugbu a na-egbu anyị na ọ dịghị anyị mma ọ ka mma na onwe ihe kwegbuo anyị wu nwere onwe njem a nke anyị na-aga kama na anyị na-esi etete n'ụtụtụ asị na onwe onye gburu ebe a onwe ha na-ekwu okwu odo na nyere onye n'aka ụkọchukwu n'ugwu Awụsa ebepụ isi ọnwụghị ofu ugboro ọnwụghị ugboro abụọ ọnwụghị ugboro atọ ọnwụghị ugboro anọ ọ bụ ruo ole mgbe ka a ga-egbugide anyị wee rue anyị asị mba na anyị ga-aga ka anyị nwee ike wee nwere onwe anyị ọ ka mma na anyị nwụrụ ebe anyị na-azọ nwere onwe tụbụ na anyị nọ n'ụlọ etu a mmadụ ibe mabata n'ime ụlọ mbịa bupụ m isi a sị na achọghị ụdị nka ọ bụghị anyị maka
every time Nigeria is ringing bell. If I look on news, it is bad. If I look social media, it is problem. When I should be drinking coffee, they will make me to come online. They don't want to have me to rest. But you know what? You know what? The spirit in me, the Biafra spirit in me, I said, when I told you, if Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is looking for 100 people, I promise that I have 50 in me. You have not seen anything. It is not by my power. It is not by my power. It is not by my power. But, you know, as my own oru, I am a rucha. You understand? Till Biafra come. But, today you are going to receive sense. The crypto, Nigeria crypto. As they are crippling your economy, they close border. They close the border. ESN came out automatically, you know, weaponized. It shocked them. They said, this border no work, oh. This close of border no work, oh. Now, how do we stop the funding now of this Sunday or Igboho? How do we stop the contribution? Let us stop the crypto. Because they were following Nigerians, southern Nigerians. Use crypto. We should open crypto. Use crypto. Don't use the Western Union. Don't use this. They say, so these people are doing crypto. Okay, let us slash them. Bah! They are not considering the economic impact of crypto. No. They are not considering how much the crypto is bringing to Nigeria economy. Their agenda is not to make Nigeria progress. No. They have a better agenda. Now you get the point. Now you get the point. My only problem is that why is it that you must wait? Was Thomas born in Nigeria? Is Thomas a Nigerian? Is Thomas in the Bible in Nigeria? Are you a lineage of Thomas? Are you a lineage of Thomas? All of you have Thomas blood in your vein. How did you get Thomas blood in your vein? That it must happen to you first before you understand. Ihe na-eme bụ ihe mmụọ. Ị na-anụkwa ya? Ihe mmụọ ka anyị na-eme. Ihe mmụọ ka anyị na-eme. When we are telling you, you don't know no ihe mmụọ ka anyị na-eme. We are telling you, even we are not perfect, but everything we have said, everything we open this mouth to say, if it don't happen today, it will happen tomorrow. I want you to go from the beginning of this struggle. From the beginning. In fact, even the one that we are not sure of, once God asks us to say it, we will say it and God will do it. Hey! Nwanne nwoke dịrị obi m mma, ọ dị mma. Ihe mere dị mma, ihe mere dị mma, ihe mere dị mma, oh, ihe mere dị mma. I said, did you see the prayer? May God harden the heart of the leaders in Nigeria so that we will tell them, the world may know that Obi is no longer a boy.